okay, what is that we can do that adds value to everyone else that is in the marketplace, that is in these fields, and then can benefit everyone. At the end of the day, I know that we have our mission to fulfill, to register designs, to register trademarks. That is fine. But at the end of the day, what is critical is, okay, who are the new designers, the new ideas, the new innovation that is coming in? And that is what we need to focus on. Is, okay, yes, we have our usual customers that they use the IP system. They are very sophisticated in the way they operate within the IP system. But my interest is to have more using the IP system, because I know that by using the IP system, the amount of value that they take, the amount of revenue, the amount of commercial success they have increases tremendously.
Mm-hmm. And it's maybe the last question. You are in position to understand. You said what are the new ideas, but I would say from where? So from which country in Europe or in the world? But are there any countries or regions outside Europe or inside Europe? But both questions are interesting. Outside and inside Europe that have innovating approaches to design.
Yes. Yeah. So in this field of IP, the scale is a very important aspect. Okay, so in order to be able to invest in these solutions, in these technical solutions, you need to have a certain scale. You need to have a certain ability to invest. No, you cannot find all solutions if you don't have the ability to get enough resources, enough intelligence, enough competences, skills in order to deliver. No? So if you want to design a table, you can do it with a very small team. If you want to design an airplane, you cannot do that with a small team. Okay, so a lot of the systems is a very good comparison. They are pretty complex. So you need to have this scale, so that you have this ability to have all the skills and competences and resources to develop. So we have been trying to see what other countries around the world have been doing in Europe and outside Europe, and we found, for example, that in Korea they are also exploiting systems to search for novelty, which are very interesting, very promising. No? So we want to keep on engaging with them to know more. We also know that Japan is doing very interesting steps in that direction. And when you look at the valuation part, actually Singapore is very forward-looking on that. No? They have been looking very much on how to use IP, but then also to make sure that IP valuation can be used in the accounts of a firm, that you can use IP as a collateral, that you can use IP as a way to attract investment. No? So they are already a bit step further, that they already say, okay, if I have my portfolio of designs, and then I have a portfolio of designs registrations, then I can transform that into investment that I can attract based on the valuation of my designs portfolio, so that I can develop further or produce or sell all of that. So that's where they are going already. Mm-hmm. So we keep on talking with friends throughout Europe and throughout the world. In Europe, you also have some pockets of very interesting ideas, how to support designers, how to support this transition between the creativity and the innovation and the IP system. That's why we have networks in the IPO with all the national offices, user associations, and with other partners. But of course, for a lot of the systems to be created and put together, you need the scale. No? And this is what I believe is the advantage, no? That the ability that the IPO has of working in a network effect, which is much more powerful. No, it's the same thing I always say. Even a big country in Europe is not that big if you look at the world. No? But if you put all the Europe combined, it's much more powerful. No? So this is a bit what we're always trying to do.
I like this idea very much. It reminds me, it happened in my life. I went to China once a year for 1 or 2 weeks to teach in design in Beijing, and it was in 2001, from 2001 to 2009, and it was very interesting to see China changing and moving so fast. Each year I could see Beijing moving and new skyscrapers and amazing. And I have very good designers, friends there. And I always thought that, okay, when China will be able to, they are looking how we do design, and they are hungry of learning. But so in Chinese way to learn and teach, that you copy masters. That's something natural in their teaching. But as I always thought that when they will be able to provide new ideas, to innovate, and then when they will have the scale to put it on the market, Europe has to understand how to compete with that. And I think the moment is now. This is what we're living.
Also because that is a very interesting point, no? Because in Europe, scale is a mix between the number of people, the number of businesses in this specific sector, plus all the legacy we have. So, for example, the size of the fashion industry in France. It's not only about the amount of creators you have, it's about also the legacy. So you are multiplying the legacy versus the number of active fashion designers you have. The same with the industry in Germany. It's not only about how many companies you have, you multiply by the legacy of a century, more or less. No? But looking forward, if you want to move fast, you cannot play with the legacy because you cannot reinvent the past. The past is what it is. What you can invest is on the size of the industry, on the size of the creators you have. And of course, even if a few 100,000 designers in France will never be more capable than all designers in Europe combined. And this is what I always say. It's about this logic of why scale is important. No? Because if you find solutions that support that all this mass of intelligence, skills, and capabilities are working in sharing some level of common language, common way of doing things, you can progress very, very fast. And this is a bit what China did, what we're saying. That's why, for example, China is already the number 1 filer of design registrations in the world. It's the number 1. It's not Europe, it's not the US, it's China already. And that's why we are hearing a lot, for example, that China, it's not made in China anymore. What they are saying now is designed in China. So they are taking those steps, as we're saying. But I believe that in Europe, we also have that capability. cannot be each one of us doing things by themselves. No, it needs to be a coordinated effort. And this is where we believe that institutions like the UIPO, we can support, because for me, I'm as interested in supporting a French designer, a Portuguese designer, or a German designer. For me, it's a European designer.
Absolutely.
And this is the mindset that we need to have.
Super.